And he made the altar of burnt offering of acacia wood, 5 amal long and 5 amal wide square, and 3 amal high. And he made the horns on its 4 corners, the horns were of it, and he overlaid them with bronze. And he made all the utensils for the altar, the pots and the shovels and the basins and the forks and the fire holders. He made all its utensils of bronze. And he made a grating for the altar, a bronze network under its rim, midway from the bottom. And he cast 4 rings for the 4 corners of the bronze grating as holders for the poles. And he made the poles of acacia wood and overlaid them with bronze. And he put the poles into the sides of the altar with which to lift it. He made the altar hollow with boards. And he made the basins of bronze and its stand of bronze, from the bronze mirrors of the serving women who did service at the door of the tent of appointment. And he made the courtyard for the south side. The screens of the courtyard were of fine woven linen, 100 amal long. Their 20 columns and their 20 sockets of bronze. The hooks of the columns and their bands were of silver. And for the north sides, the screens were of 100 amal long. Their 20 columns and their 20 sockets of bronze. The hooks and their columns and their bands were of silver. And for the west side, there were screens of 50 amal, their 10 columns and their 10 sockets. Their hooks of the columns and their bands were of silver. And for the east side eastward, 50 amal, 15 amal of screens on the one side with their 3 columns and their 3 sockets, and 15 amal of screens on the other side of the courtyard gate, on this side and on that side, with their 3 columns and their 3 sockets. All the screens of the courtyard all around were of fine woven linen. And the sockets for the columns were of bronze. The hooks of the columns and their bands was of silver. And the overlaid of the tops was of silver. And all the columns of the courtyard had bands of silver. And the covering of the gate of the courtyard was the work of an embroiderer, of blue, of purple, and scarlet, and fine woven linen, and 20 amal long. And the height along its width was 5 amal, corresponding to the screens of the courtyard. And the columns were 4, and their sockets of bronze 4. Their hooks were of silver, and the overlay of their tops and their bands was of silver. And all the pegs of the Mishkan and of the courtyard all around were of bronze. These were the appointments of the Mishkan of the witness, which was appointed by the command of Moshe for the service of the Levites by the hand of Ithamar, son of Aaron the Cohen, and Bezalel, son of Uri, son of Hur, of the tribe of Yehudah, made all that Yahweh had commanded Moshe, and with him Oholiab, son of Ahisamach, of the tribe of Dan, an engraver and a designer, an embroiderer in blue and purple and scarlet and fine linen. All the gold which was prepared for the work, and all the work of the Kadesh place, and it was the gold of the wave offering, came to be 29 kikars, and 730 shekels, according to the shekel of the Kadesh place. And the silver from the ones counted of the congregation was 100 kikars, and 1,775 shekels, according to the shekel of the Kadesh place. A bakah, half a shekel for a head, according to the shekel of the Kadesh place, for everyone passing over those counted, from 20 years old and above, for 603,550. And the 100 kikars of silver were for the casting of the sockets for the Kadesh place, and for the bases of the veil. 100 sockets from the 100 kikars, a kikar for each socket. And of the 1,775 he made hooks of the columns, and overlaid their tops, and made bands for them. And the bronze of the wave offering was 70 kikars, and 2,400 shekels. And with it he made sockets of the door of the tent of appointment, and the bronze for the altar, and the bronze for the grating for it, and all the utensils for the altar. and the sockets for the courtyard all around them, and the bases for the courtyard gate, and all the pegs for the Mishkan, and all the pegs for the courtyard all around.